So I had this experience where I was in the middle of my Jesus mindset and mode, and I wanted to get away from my family because, I mean, everything had been chaotic at the house, and I just felt like I had no escape. And I had this sort of mental road trip planned where I would go visit Paul's Valley and my friend Travis, who lived up in Oklahoma City at the time. Well, I wanted to also go visit Turner Falls because as a kid, my whole family went to Turner Falls, and it was a beautiful place. It was this serene, natural spring kind of place where the water was cold to the touch and it would make you feel, they said it turned our skin blue when we were kids because it was so cool, but I years later got married in front of this waterfall in Turner Falls, and I decided I would go back there, go visit. And so when I went up I was driving in this state of mind that was so beyond what I can conceive now, because it was so assured in its, I don't know, it was like I knew I was supposed to become Jesus. And in the midst of that, I'm driving and having this, existential crisis. But then I go to Turner Falls because, I want to have this connection with this place that was rooted in my youth and in my marriage, because it was this constant through life. And when I went up there, I parked my car beside this ledge that led down to the water. And if I recall correctly, I climbed down the ravine and got down into the water, at least to where my feet were in the water, just so I could feel it and have that connection, I guess, to the earth and to my past. And so I climbed back up and started to get over to my car, but then I noticed there was an 18-wheeler parked, and I don't know if it had been there before. In my state of mind, I may have been just oblivious to it, but I walked over and saw there was a guy there. And in the moment, I thought this man was my dad in disguise. And he looked like a mixture of my dad and Santa Claus. And in my mind's eye, I considered this to be like God manufacturing a play and a stage for me to live out this strange facade on. And so I thought it was my dad / Santa / God. Something was happening there. It was very bizarre. But then there was another man behind the 18-wheeler. And at the time I thought this was my uncle, because they shared a somewhat similar resemblance to my uncle. And I thought, that these two men were just my family on this stage, right? So when they came, when I came up and saw these men, I had been smoking, I believe, and offered to smoke with them. But then we stood next to this man's truck, and it was like this other man who seemed to be my uncle, or I thought was my uncle. He nuzzled up to the side of me and touched my hand with his hand. It was just way too close, so it just kept touching. And I kept feeling this, and I looked and I said, "Do you want to hold my hand? Is that what you're trying to do? I don't know." And so I held his hand, and I felt so innocent about this at the time because, in my mind, this was just normal. This was like a stage play playing out, and it was I was unable to comprehend anything besides that. And I had this innocent, I'm gonna hold your hand and, hopefully accomplish what you're trying to accomplish. I have no idea who these men are, what their actual motive or agenda is over here. I know I had to get into this water, come out, and then I just decided, well, it's my dad and my uncle, so I'm gonna go smoke with them. Even though it's this, but that's not what was happening. I was just in a different state of mind. And thank God, or whatever, that I was not killed, molested, whatever. I'm still here to tell the tale, you know, unscathed, relatively speaking. So it's, you know, it's just interesting because life is trippy. In case you didn't know. But I'm sure you know. Didn't you know? I know.